We have a new poll out today showing what might be an electoral disaster for the Democrats. This is not from Fox News, by the way. This is from CNN. It is kind of a crazy poll. I'll show it to you. This is one of the most wild things I've ever seen. So yeah, we're going to take a look at that in just a second. Before we do that, though, if you're new, please subscribe and let's get into it. So this is a clip from CNN. They're discussing this new poll. I want you to remember these numbers that you're about to see are not approval ratings among America. They're approval ratings among registered Democrats. Here, I'll play this for you now. Take a look.
From their own party on record, it's only beat by what we saw earlier on in this Congress when it was 61%. There's basically been no improvement. Democrats hate their own congressional leaders. These numbers are awful, awful, awful.
This is Democrat on Democrat crime in a manner of speaking here.
You got it.
Why?
Why is there Democrat on Democrat crime? And it just simply comes down to this. They don't think their leaders are fighting enough. Dems who say congressional Dems are doing too little to oppose Donald Trump. In February of 2025, it was 73%. Now that number is up to 78%. Democrats want fighters in Congress, and at this point, they do not believe that the Democrats in Congress are fighting enough to oppose President Trump's agenda.
Any difference between the House and Senate leaders?
Yeah, okay, so this is, I think, the very key nugget going on. Who are they taking their anger out on? It's not Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House. It's the Democratic Senate leader, Chuck Schumer. You know, you go back to January 2025, you see Jeffries' net favorability rating was at plus 22. It's actually slightly higher now, plus 29. But look at Schumer. Look at Chuck Schumer. He was on the positive side of the ledger. And again, this is among Democrats. He was at plus 11. Now he's underwater at minus 2. I went back and I looked at every single Democratic Senate leader. I looked at all the polling I could. He polls the lowest for any Democratic Senate leader among Democrats dating back in the last 40 years.
So to what end? I mean, what are the predictions?
I hate to put it like this, but this is going to be our only shot. The reality is, as supportive I am of President Trump, and of course, I'm not going to, this is a Second Amendment channel, right? So there's been definitely some rocky waters on that. The reality is, to protect our rights, we do need a red Senate and a red Congress. That's just the reality. And largely, this is our only chance, right? Because of weakening in the economy and general kind of malaise around Greenland and that sort of issue. Again, not debating whether that's right or wrong. I'm just telling it as it is, as I see it. The Republicans are in a pretty weakened position at the moment. And that's going to impact everything, right? Like just today, I released a video about a massively great ATF rule, that rule change that just came out. That can happen, right? That can still happen even if we lose the House or the Senate. But what can't happen, and what's very unlikely to be able to happen, is things like the one big beautiful bill, right? Zeroing out the NFA, tax on SBRs, SBS, suppressors, and auditing other weapons. Things like that are very, very unlikely to happen unless we retain the House and the Senate. And that's going to be a really, really big problem. It's also going to make it less likely that the next Republican will get elected, whether that's, Vance, DeSantis, whoever. Because once you get down the spiral of doing nothing, the reality is Trump will be a lame duck president. And that's really, really worrying because right now we have those protections in place. We have the ability, from a policy perspective, to basically do whatever we want. And the Republicans, let me be clear, are not making full use of that, but they are actually doing a decent job relative to how other parties have done in the past, right? It's okay. Is it what I would do? No. Is it okay? Yes, it is. If we lose the House, we are in for a world of hurt, not only in 2026 to 2028, but 2028 to 2032. And so, again, this is primarily a Second Amendment channel, but this will affect you, me, and every person in America. No doubt, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just the reality of the situation. If the House and Congress, if the House and the Senate are both taken by the Democrats, pretty much we get into electoral gridlock. If the House and the Senate are both taken by a substantial margin by the Senate, you could see impeachments and things like that. Now, again, that's very unlikely to happen from both houses, but we are very much vulnerable. We are very, very much vulnerable. And the one thing we have going for us is polls like this that show just how unbelievably unpopular the Democrats are. And this, by the way, mirrors in other forms of polling. The Democratic Party is like 20 points less popular than Donald Trump, which I know is crazy because Donald Trump's like negative 10 right now in polling. Whether or not you believe the polls is a separate topic, but the general trend does show something, right? He's at not an all-time low, but at a sort of local low since his presidency began. But the Democrats are at an unbelievable level below that. And honestly, that's our shot here. Basically, if you're on the right of American politics, you need to keep rooting for this trend to continue. This is the trend that beats us. The Democrats are so good at beating themselves, whether that's their abject commitment to things that are unpopular. Again, agree or disagree, but like the trans issue. Again, I'm not coming down one way or the other, but whatever you think about it, they have done a horrible job communicating things like that. And things like that are electoral losers, right? They've done a horrible, horrible job on communicating things like the economy and inflation, right? And that's pretty much why Trump won in 2024. The reality is they are actually insanely bad and insane at communicating policy and insanely good at shooting themselves in the foot. And this poll reflects that. 57% among Democrats? Among Democrats. Wild. Just absolutely wild stuff. Anyway, just wanted to make that quick update for you about the polling. If you did enjoy, please subscribe down below if you're new. Again, really new channel, so I appreciate all the subscriptions. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.